nothing's guaranteed in this game or this world. All the old guys. I know you didn't want to use those words, but I'll say it for you. It's cool. I mean, it's fun to be a part of it with them. I'm hoping that it's not one and done. We're going to give everything we have so that I can be the last old man standing, maybe.
And so we get up this morning with Dominique Foxworth and Damien Woody as well. Good morning, guys. And Anique, let me start with you. Let's talk about the pressure that's on Big Ben here. This is a team that does not run the football practically at all. 83% of their yards the last 5 weeks have come through the passing game. They're now playing a game in which they are heavily favored based in part on Cleveland losing its coach and other things. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Roethlisberger here. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that all the way. Like, I understand what you're saying. They're going to have to throw the ball and have an effective passing game because their rushing game is pretty much non-existent. But they don't really ask that much of Ben. When you think of Ben Roethlisberger in his prime, it's holding on to the ball for a long time, sometimes shaking off giant defensive ends so he can throw deep balls down the field to those seemingly revolving doors of outstanding receivers that they have there. That's not the Ben we have this year. He has as little time in the pocket as anyone. No one gets rid of the ball more quickly this season than Ben Roethlisberger. So I think there's pressure on him to make good decisions, but there's not that much pressure on him to be the Ben Roethlisberger of old that puts this team on his back on occasion when they need him to do so.
They rested him last week. Damien Woody, what do you expect from Roethlisberger Sunday night against a Browns defense that has struggled defending the pass?
Yeah, listen, I think Dominique hit it on the head. Nobody's gotten the ball out quicker than Big Ben of all the quarterbacks in the National Football League, and it's going to put a premium on the Cleveland Browns, particularly their back seven, to be able to make tackles. Because if there's one thing that we know about the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, is they can really make yards after the catch. And so we know that the Cleveland Browns, Olivier Vernon is out for the year with the Achilles injury, so that's another huge blow against that Cleveland defense. So Myles Garrett and company, they're going to have to do their best job as possible to try to get to Big Ben. But again, Ben gets that ball out really, really quickly.
And D. Wood, may I just say, and Cindy, can we take the one shot of him again? This, I believe, is the first time we're seeing this room in your clearly spectacular house, and I'm completely consumed by it. The piano is spectacular, the art. You just need to have us to your house for a tour at some point. I've seen now, I feel like, 4 different rooms in your house during this pandemic, and every one of them is more spectacular than the previous.
Yeah. Well, Green, I tell you what, man. When we get past this pandemic, man, maybe we do the show. Get up from here, maybe. I got
love it on location.
That's a date. We will be there for sure, and hopefully there won't be a delay. You could drive a truck through while we do that. And let me come to you on this. Ben Roethlisberger has $41 million in his contract next year, so it did get me to thinking, whenever this thing ends for them, let's just use Sunday night as a possibility. Could we be seeing the last games of Ben Roethlisberger in a Steeler uniform?
No, Greeny, he fully intends to come back and play next year. And again, Pittsburgh has always gone to him when it needed cap relief, and I would imagine that would be the same situation again now. But I saw that caption there, Ben Roethlisberger under contract, under pressure. Look, I think he, at this stage of his career, has an understanding and an appreciation, as he talked about, that he doesn't know that he will ever get an opportunity like this ever again. Last year, he was knocked out for the year with an elbow injury. This year, the team struggled and limped towards the finish line. Next year, he will be another year older. He fully intends to play next year. That is his plan. But who's to say that his performance at his age isn't going to drop off? We've already seen the quarterbacks from his draft class. Eli Manning's retired. There's a chance that Phillip Rivers is in his final playoff round right here. And so who knows how many more opportunities Ben Roethlisberger will get at the postseason. Who knows if this will be the last time that he advances to the postseason. And I think he's wise enough to recognize that these opportunities are few and far between. They're limited, and this could be it for him right here.
Feels like a changing of the guard there in Pittsburgh, no question. Okay, that's where it begins. Our next stop is Washington. After a Week 17 win for the Washington football team that clinched Chase Young and the team a playoff matchup with Tampa Bay, Young was seen and heard running off the field saying this. For the Cleveland Browns yesterday, the latest round of COVID-19 testing produced no new positive results. Here's what their head coach Kevin Stefanski had to say yesterday. Take a listen.
They understand that we have a job to do. and they're excited to do that. So they know that this thing's not stopping for me or anybody. So they're full speed ahead. It's the next person up. So it doesn't change regardless of who's on the sideline.
Adam Schefter is with us this morning, and as always, working hard before the sun even comes up. Good morning, Shefty. What is the latest you can tell us out of Cleveland?
Well, that was a positive step. Assuming there are no more positive tests in Cleveland, the game will go on as scheduled on Sunday night. And there were no positives, as you mentioned yesterday. Now, Kevin Stefanski is out for the game, as are a number of players. And just think about this. The Cleveland Browns are playing their biggest game in 18 years, their first playoff game since 2002. And in that game, remarkably enough, they will be without their head coach. They will be without a couple of